Okay, guys, we are back. I have my student Daniel with me today. Daniel is an orange belt, and how long have you been training for, Daniel?
2.5 years now.
Okay, and Daniel has gone through the kids program, and now he's in 7th grade in middle school, and he trains primarily with myself in the adult fundamentals, and some bullying issues were happening in school. Talk a little bit about what happened. Let's talk about what happened leading up to you having to actually use your jiu-jitsu. Talk about some of the events leading up to what happened.
So, I was in the hallway and I was walking to the bathroom, and he walked by me and he shoved me and he turned around and we both faced each other. It was almost like we squared up, but I thought he was joking because it was the first week of school, so I didn't know anything about him and I didn't know anybody.
And you were, just to pre-frame this, Daniel's brand new to this middle school this year. So they just moved. He knows nobody there. This is common. New kid is a target. So continue.
So we almost square up, and he raises his hands and he starts pushing me, and he was laughing the whole time. So I didn't think it was too serious, but I got hit in the eye. So I just kind of walked away because I didn't really want to start anything on the first week. So I just walked away, and he did it again in gym. He got frustrated during basketball and he started pushing me again, but he backed off after a couple of seconds, and I didn't want to restart it.
You didn't want to. Yeah, that's smart. And we talk about this all the time. You didn't want to escalate.
Yeah.
You didn't want to make the situation worse. The person's done. There's really no immediate threat. So he's doing what we're telling him to do. So keep going.
So this was the third time, and this is when the event happened. I was standing at the pencil sharpener, and I was sharpening my pencil, and he walks up beside me, and he bumps into me, and then he starts pushing me. I see it. And one of the pushes hits my face, and my glasses came off, and they hit the floor, and that's when I kind of snapped. So I it was pure instinct. So I just wrapped my arm around him. I pushed him into a wall, and then he was off balance. So I drug him down onto the floor, and I guess I drug him pretty hard because he went from one side of the classroom to the other. And in a matter of not even a second, I was already behind him, and I had my arm around his neck, and I had my other arm cutting off his circulation.
So just so you guys can show here, this is called a rear naked choke. Go ahead and do it to me. And this is, even when he's this much smaller than me, half the top. What's nice about it too, though, did you hurt him badly?
No.
Even when he just choked me right there, if I give up, he knows. And we talk about this a lot in class, right? Take it to the exact level that it needs to be to stop the threat of violence that's happening to you, and then don't go any further. Did you feel like you needed to choke him unconscious?
I didn't choke him unconscious, but I was ready to. But
did you feel like you needed to?
I felt like I needed to, yes, because he kept squirming and trying to hit me. So.
But you didn't.
I didn't, because people pulled me off of him physically.
Okay.
So
here's what we have to remember, guys. He tried everything that we discussed ever since the kids are little. Try to talk the situation out. Let the administration know what's going on. But when push comes to shove, these kids are going to, first off, the kids that bully, it comes from a place of insecurity, right? We have to remember this, that this kid probably, I don't want to make assumptions, but most of the time when we see bullying type behavior, this kid has something going on at home where there's issues contributing to the poor behavior in school. Why else would he do that? You know what I mean? Why else would he pick a brand new kid out who he probably thought that he could take advantage of you, elevate his status by kind of blowing your candle out, and he learned a valuable lesson. And I told Daniel, we were talking before we made this video out on the mats, I told Daniel, he's very lucky that it was Daniel that he chose to target, a kid that knows jiu-jitsu, that was able to handle the situation non-violently with just as much technique as was necessary. And it wasn't some kid that snapped and punched him in the face and broke his nose or broke his teeth. And then, for you, talk about your school's policy, because This is very common in pretty much all schools. So what do they kind of tell the kids when it comes to a situation like this? What kind of advice do they give you?
Well, they say that if you can run away, you have to run away, or else like you're gonna get the same consequence that they got.
So if you're being attacked and you can't run away,
then you can like hit back.
right?
That's if like you're in the bathroom and then you're stuck
cornered.
in the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then even then, they're telling the kids, well, it's okay to hit back. Do we ever tell you that in here?
No.
And now in Daniel's level where he's at the adult level, we do teach them, if you get attacked by somebody much, much bigger than you, it's okay to strike to create some space to run away and escape. But what do I always tell you guys? Whenever I teach a more aggressive move in the adult class, I'm certain to temper that to the teenagers in the group, and I tell them, don't do this in school, right? Don't headbutt someone in school. Don't knee someone in school. Don't elbow somebody in school. Most of the time, the positional control is good enough. If not, go for some sort of submission. Now, here's the big question. Do you think this kid's going to do that again?
He thinks he's strong, so he like tried to come up to me, and all I had to do was look at him in the eye, and I said, don't do this again.
Yeah, don't make the same mistake again. And then it sends a very important message to not only that kid, but every other kid in that environment that might have been thinking, oh, maybe Daniel's a weak target, he's a newer kid, let's see how far we can push this kid. Well, now they know what the result is going to be of pushing him. So, dude, I'm so proud of you, man. And, guys, I've just started kind of documenting this stuff, but we get these stories all the time. And I'm real proud of how Daniel handled it. And it sounds like your school actually did a great job handling it too, because you didn't get in any trouble from it. And that's because your mom was upset with the situation. And here's the thing, guys, when a kid knows that he has the support of his instructors, his parents, his teammates, they're not afraid to kind of bend the rules in school a little bit, because based on the school rules, you would have had to sit there and who knows how far he'll take it. At least we know that if you take control and take matters into your hands, it's going to be done non-violently. So anything else you'd like to add, or maybe how else jiu-jitsu's helped you up to, with the situation, or just being a new kid in middle school is kind of scary anyway. How do you feel jiu-jitsu's maybe helped you with that?
Well, I definitely know when people are being aggressive. Like, I can tell when people are mad, they'll clench their fists. And when I got into the fight, I didn't even have to think about it because I've been training for so long.
That's awesome, dude.
It wasn't.
That makes me so happy to hear, bro. Like, you have no idea, like, how happy that makes me to hear that. Because that's the whole reason why we exist. Like, that's our whole purpose of training people, is what you're saying. I interrupted you though, but go ahead. So you were able to identify that it was an issue and know that he was being combative. And then you said it's just reflexive. You didn't have to think about it.
Yeah, like you kind of just like black out and you don't think about it. You just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you are just acting on instinct of what you've done over and over and over again. So it's like drilling is definitely important, and just training is important.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. And what he's saying, like, when you do experience an adrenaline dump, you do kind of black out, right? You get tunnel vision, your auditory perception goes away, everything becomes very centered in that moment. It almost feels like time is going by very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterward, it seems like it happened in a flash. That's what he experienced, was an adrenaline dump. When you experience adrenaline dump, you are going to revert back to your lowest level of training. Thankfully, he's an orange belt, and his lowest level of training is much higher than that of somebody that's just an average kid that's even maybe doing some sort of striking martial art or something like that, where their lowest level of training is to resort to the strikes. And when you have no training, you go back to your primitive instincts, which are giant caveman-like clubbing motions and stuff like that. And you probably would have gotten in trouble for doing that kind of thing. Then the kid gets hurt, you get in trouble, it's not good for anybody. So guys, again, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and it's an exemplary martial art for, especially I feel like young men Daniel's age are at the most risk of having to use some sort of martial art, because kids are very aggressive and combative, especially going through adolescence and stuff like that. So, you should definitely give your parents a lot of props, because they bring you, and let's be real, just a message to the parents out there. How many times have you not wanted to come to class and your folks make you come anyway?
Plenty.
I was the same way, dude. My mom was the same way. But aren't you thankful now that they pushed you? Because, like you said, you've developed the reflexes. You've trained long enough. You didn't have to think about it. You just responded, and you ended up safe on the other end. So shout out mom and dad for bringing him too, and all the other coaches here that have developed Daniel. I've recently been training Daniel. I don't teach a lot of the children's classes here, but as he's been coming up through the ranks, there's a lot of people that have helped him along the way. And this is great, man. Like, I'm really proud of you. And again, like, the message is pretty clear now in his school. Not the kid to mess with. And as you guys can tell, Daniel's such a great kid. He's not an aggressive kid. He's not a bad kid. I feel like students like him in school, the bullies have no fear of consequences, right? Someone that's a great student, right? You're like an awesome student too, right? Like straight A's. And straight A's or no?
Honor roll.
Okay. Okay, close enough, right? But you fear missing school and getting suspended and your grade suffering, right? So we have to just teach them that, look, man, it's okay. We have your back. Your parents have your back. Your teammates have your back. And I really, we don't need to bring up Daniel's school or anything like that, but someone that watches this is probably an administrator school. Shout out to you guys too at his school, because I see this unfair treatment many times of the kid does the right thing, he doesn't hurt anybody, and they still get in trouble, and it's totally unfair. And it kind of discourages kids for standing up for themselves, which is the answer to bullying. The answer to bullying is everything we just talked about right here, okay? And as a parent, you have to be in touch with reality. His parents can't go to school with him, right? His parents can't fight his battles for them. I can't go to school with him. I can't fight his battles for them. We have to equip the kids, give them the tools that they need, keep them sharp on a daily basis, and that's pretty much it, man. Anything else you want to say?
No.
Really proud of you, bro. I'm going to give you a t-shirt on your way out. You're the man, Daniel.